wassalatu wassalamu ala asrofil anbiya wal mursalim wa ala alihi washabihi ajmain amma ba'du. The Honorable Speaker of the 6th International Intensive Course on Islamic Psychology, Mr. Sumedi P. Nugraha, Ph.D. as our first speaker, and Dr. Ahmad Rusdi from Universitas Islam Indonesia as our second speaker. The Honorable all participants who are with us today for the session. Welcome to the sixth session of the 6th International Intensive Course on Islamic Psychology held by Universitas Islam Indonesia in collaboration with International Institute of Islamic Thought Indonesia, IIIT. First, let's give thanks to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala who has given us His grace so that we can meet on this occasion in good health. Pray, salawat and salam are bestowed upon our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, his family, companions, and those who follow them in goodness until the day of judgment. Ladies and gentlemen, before we start our opening ceremony, I would like to tell you all to keep your microphones muted during the presentation to avoid any disruption. And you're welcome to turn on your cameras, but please ensure your background is appropriate for the event. To officially open today's event, let us take a moment together our focus and intention. The moderator of today's session is Mr. Haris Enggarwijaya, SPC M.Ed Psikolog, Lecturer of Psychology of Universitas Islam Indonesia. Second, let us opening this session by saying Bismillah together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In this session, please allow me, Lutfina Kurata, as your Master of Ceremony, to briefly describe the session of our class today. We will have Mr. Haris Enggarwijaya, SPC M.Ed Psikolog, as our moderator. Mr. Haris Enggarwijaya is a lecturer at the Department of Psychology Universitas Islam Indonesia. Mr. Haris Enggarwijaya took this undergraduate education and Master of Profession at the Universitas Islam Indonesia. He has an educational focus on educational psychology and Islamic psychology. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to introduce our speaker for today. We will have an insightful session with Mr. Sumedi P. Nugraha, Ph.D. as our first speaker and Dr. Ahmad Rusdi, Universitas Islam Indonesia as second speaker. And then, at the end of the session, we will have a question and answer session with our speaker and all participants. To make this opening short, I will let the moderator lead this session. To the moderator, the times it's yours. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for MC Lutfiana. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Allahumma shalli wa sallim ala Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished speakers and respected participants, welcome to the 6th International Intensive Course in Islamic Psychology 2024. It is a profound honor to have you with us for this momentous event. My name is Haris and I will be your moderator today. It is my privilege to guide you through the discussion and insight that will unfold today about our discussion about measurement of Islamic psychological construct. Before we dive into our session, I'm delighted to introduce our distinguished speakers. The first one is Mr. Sumedi Nugraha, Ph.D. And our second speaker is Dr. Ahmad Rusdi, who will presenting the topic measurement of Islamic psychological construct. Okay, Mr. Sumedi Nugraha, I will briefly introduce himself. He is a lecturer at well-known university in Indonesia, Universitas Indonesia. He completed his undergraduate studies at the Gajah Mada University and earned his PhD from Florida State University in USA. And now Mr. Sumedi currently works at the Faculty of Psychology and Sociocultural Sciences. He has many research in psychometric, media psychology, and educational psychology. Uh, as an example, he already have research on hope keeps me going, academic expectation, predict academic grade, also academic hardiness as a mediator for the effect social support on academic distress, and also motivation on undergrad student. And our second speaker, Dr. Ahmad Rusdi, he is also our lecturer in Islamic University Indonesia, Islam Indonesia. He has an expertise in Islamic psychology, particularly in psychometry, and his educational background from bachelor degree, master, and doctoral degree at the Jakarta State Islamic University. Uh, as an example of his work, many of Dr. Ahmad's work is focusing on developing a psychological skill in Islam. As an example, it is gratitude, and then husnudon, and then hasad, and etc. Okay, without further ado, please join me in welcoming our speaker, Dr. Sumedri, and also Dr. Ahmad Rusdi. Okay, for the first session, Dr. Sumedi Pianugra, the time and screen is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma sholli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah.
Tinggal sekian lagi share. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Today we are gathered together here at the Zoom to discuss about measurement of Islamic psychological construct. Dear respected scholar, participant, and friends, here I know some of them here in this Zoom. It's a great honor for me to be here today at the International Intensive Course in Islamic Psychology 2024. We gather here to explore a topic of profound significance, that is the measurement of Islamic psychological construct. As we navigate to the complexity of this field, we must recognize the importance of integrating our rich Islamic heritage with contemporary psychological practice to serve humanity more effectively. I'm here not to lecture you, but I would like to share my experience, my understanding about Islamic psychology with you. So this is not my final or anything that must, but we discuss here to learn new things. But to make this, hang on a second. First of all, I would like to give an introduction first. The profession of psychologist is often associated with testing, measurement, and assessment because psychologists' work involve helping clients address psychological issues. The most consistent instrument that allow comparison between clients is measurement data. Therefore, the role of measurement becomes crucial and warrant discussion. That's why we are here today.
Okay, I'm sorry, Dr. Sumedi, can you expand or optimize the screen?
Oh, is it? Thank you.
Okay.
1 second. I have difficulty here if I do screen because it's cover everything in my screen. Okay, it is okay, Pak Haris?
Not
Is-
yet. It's still big on the first. Can you expand or optimize?
To familiarize with the screen now. Should I share
Okay, maybe it's okay if you have
this one?
any.
You see that I'm moving the screen now, Pak
Yeah.
Haris?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me start over again. Yeah, the profession of psychologist is often associated with testing, measurement, and assessment because psychologists' work involves helping clients address psychological issues. The most consistent instrument that allow comparisons between clients is measurement data. Therefore, the role of measurement becomes crucial and warrants discussion. Okay. In Indonesia, the study of Islamic psychology, in my opinion, began to develop around early 2000s when many universities, including those affiliated with Islam, established psychology faculties. Now, for appropriate 20 or 25 years, Islamic psychology has offered an alternative solution alongside mainstream psychology, which has developed earlier. So Islamic psychology is just newcomer in this field. The development of any scientific discipline is supported by reliable and trustworthy research method and measurement. Similarly, with Islamic psychology, require dependable instrument to support its academic growth. So the measurement instrument supporting the development of Islamic psychology is crucial topic for study exploration. Islamic psychology carries dual mission. Number one is to help solve life problems based on Islamic teaching, and secondly, to ensure the continuity of the relationship between human and their creator. The mission includes exploring how closely, intimately human connect to God as the lives, and the benefit of others. Furthermore, Allah communicate with humans through the heart or qalb. For effective communication, the qalb must be prepared and receive signal and message from Allah through the Quran and exemplary behavior of the Prophet Muhammad or Sunnah. Understanding the qalb is essential to fulfill the mission of Islamic psychology as it serves as guide in daily activity and means to reach paradise. There are three conditions of the qalb. That is the healthy qalb, diseased qalb or sick qalb, and dead qalb. A healthy qalb is one of the constantly connect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, following his will unconditionally. In contrast, a dead qalb denies Allah's presence in life. Dead qalb leads to behavior that cannot distinguish between the right or wrong, treating all action as equally acceptable. A diseased qalb, in another hand, acknowledge Allah but is plagued by distraction, which is not corrected, and then eventually lead to the dead qalb. So Islam is talking about qalb qalb is hati or qalb is hati in Indonesia, but hati doesn't mean hati in meaning of the medical knowledge. Hati here is the located in the heart. There are three type of qalb. Yeah, I have mentioned to you. This is healthy qalb. This is what we want. And this is qalb is sick qalb and dead qalb. So our job in psychology, Islamic psychology, is to deal with this qalb because religion is talking about the qalb, but how Allah communicate to us is through qalb. That's why qalb has become very important vehicle, very important tools for us to communicate with God, with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we have to make sure that qalb is always ready and healthy. So the goal of Islamic psychology is to help individuals maintain a healthy qalb. The healthy qalb is positively correlated with obedience. The more we adhere to his command and the prohibition, we follow what must do and must not do, then the healthier the qalb becomes. In reverse, conversely, the more we engage in sinful behavior, then the qalb become disease. And then if we not take care of the qalb, the qalb become dead, died. The nature of the heart is changeable and unstable. I think I will talk about the construct based on this nature of the heart or the qalb. The qalb is not permanent, not constant. They always change anytime. It depends on how we maintain iman or commit with sin. The more we commit with sin, then the heart or the qalb become far away from Allah and become sick. The nature of the heart is changeable. Without intervention, it means without our influence, it can lead to disease and death. According to Islamic teaching, there are three type of qalb. I have already mentioned before: healthy, sick, and dead. Now come back to Islamic psychology. Islamic psychology as a systematic or as a science, as a systematic and predictable science focused on problem solving centers is primarily construct on the qalb. So Islamic psychology construct is based on the qalb. The qalb serves as a motivator of human behavior. In daily life, the expression of the qalb reflected in our behavior, observed behavior, depend on its condition, whether the qalb is healthy, diseased, or sick, or dead. So qalb is similar with the psychological construct. We cannot see the construct through the eyes. We only see the construct through the behavior that reflecting the inside, which is in this case our qalb. Healthy qalb, our behavior is different than when our qalb is sick. Okay, I hope you follow me until here. Okay. So I have mentioned already that the qalb is dynamic. I mean, it changes every day, every time. It depends on our activity, which is committed to sin or to taqwa. If we are taqwa, then the qalb is getting healthier. So construct in Islamic psychology, describe ethical include here like ikhlas or sincerity. Ikhlas actually is the basic motivation. Every action that we should do should based on ikhlas. Whatever behavior, ikhlas is the predisposition for our activity. So everything will have no value in front of Allah if they are not based on ikhlas. Ikhlas means everything we do is just for or to pleasure Allah. Okay. If we do something to pleasure someone else, then it doesn't mean our behavior is ikhlas. For example, when we give charity, and the charity in our feeling that this is also to attract people, to impress people that I'm a good person, then the charity doesn't have value anything in front of Allah because it's not ikhlas. Ikhlas is just for Allah, 100%, not 99%, 100% must for Allah. Now, this is a little bit difficult for us to implement this in our daily life because a lot of distraction. And then construct, the next construct is like tawakal. Tawakal is Islam means submission. Submission means tawakal. So if we declare ourselves as a Muslim, meaning that we have to tawakal, we trust to Allah. So our life, our future, our nasib is determined by Allah. We cannot do anything. That's tawakal. Tawakal is submit all problem to Allah and Allah will take care of us. That's tawakal. This is also Islamic construct that is difficult to achieve. We have to learn every day to be a good Muslim by increasing our tawakal level. Another important construct in Islamic psychology or in Islamic teaching is ridho. Ridho means let it go. Let it go. It's not our power to control what's happening around us, even to us. Yeah, we do something. Sometimes we are not happy with our doing because we have a feeling that we have to do with our value, our achievement, but Allah have another plan for us. So we have to accept what is Allah give to us. That's why we have to have a ridho. Ridho is a capability or a skill that we have to achieve or to learn every day too. Yeah. And then sabar or qana'ah. Sabar doesn't mean whatever is happen and you have to be patient. No, sabar also means persistent. Yeah, persistent until you get what you want. Yeah, with the help of Allah, with the permit of Allah, we have to do it and do it until we achieve something. That's a sabar. Sabar is also the most wanted attitude. Yeah, in Al-Quran there are 100, maybe more than 100 ayat talking about sabar in different occasion. Yeah, and then there is a khusyu, and then roja, hope. Yeah, hope is very important construct in our life because this gives us a healthier or solution. Sometimes we do something bad, but we still have a hope that Allah will forgive whatever we did. Yeah, even though that activity is very bad. Remember with a story about 99 people killed by someone who want to, yeah. This is story for the, I forget the setting, but there is a 99 person already killed, and then that person asks for the piety person whether my deed is still accepted, can go to Jannah or not, because the one person or one ulama say that you cannot get what we call it, forgiveness from Allah. You have to, yeah, you don't have any forgiven from Allah, so you will go to what we call it, neraka. Partly I forgot. And then that person also killed. So total he killed 100 people killed. So he moved to another scholar and say, can Allah forgive me because of I'm killing 100%? And that person, that scholar say, oh, you can. But there is a condition. You have to go to the village to get forgiven from Allah. And he's followed. And on the way to the village, he died. What I'm saying is that that person or the scholar gave a hope, yeah, hope. That's everything as long as Allah pleased with our deed, even though the deed is according to us is nothing, but in the eyes of Allah is very important. Allah will give a forgiveness. That's why Roja is also very important construct in Islam, because this will help people to feel okay and feel good and healthy. And then piety or taqwa, this is another construct. And iman, this is some construct that I'm giving to you, but there are more than this. And I would like to hear from you what other construct you might have. And then there are constructs that describe the disease called or sick called. Yeah, actually, this disease is come from three sources. Yeah, number one is greedy, yeah, greed, and then number two is sombong, greedy, sombong, is arrogant. And then number three is hasad. You know, these three become the resource of the disease scope. And there are many activity or many behavior that describe or explaining or giving the construct, or what I mean is, I think like ujub, riya is come from one sources that is arrogant. Okay, the another construct, but this is, I think, is not connected to the cult itself, but the concept that we already know in psychology that we need to redefine. I just want to give an example. Intelligent for psychological concept, meaning that people can do the job right, fast, and correct. But intelligent in Islamic view will means different. Do you know what does it mean? Yeah, the person who has intelligent in Islamic view means that they know that they know how to the life, they know the goal of their life. Yeah, you have to ready to die and go to the China. That's the intelligent person. So intelligent person know where to go and what to do to prepare what the destination is. Yeah, this is an example. There are many more construct that Islamic psychology should redefine the construct. Maybe I need your help too to add this construct. So we will discuss later. Okay. When we talk about measurement, the most important step or discussion is validation of the measurement. How to validate our instrument so the instrument can do the job right. Validation involves ensuring that what is measured accurately reflect what we intended to measure. Mengukur apa yang seharusnya diukur. For example, when measure a piety or taqwa, then the measurement result must precisely represent the level of piety of that person or that people. How do we know that our instrument or item is valid to measure taqwa? This is my opinion, my experience teaching and discussing, examining student thesis. In Islamic field, validating item is by inviting the person who want to measure. For example, when we want to measure a piety or ketakwaan seseorang, then the item, the test should be tested, check it to the person who have a high piety. So we cannot just distribute it to any ordinary people and then we validate. I think that's the second level, but the first level is content validity first. Yeah. Validity, we have a content validity construct, and then face validity, etc. I think all of you knows that kind of validity. So in Islamic, content validity must be checked first. So we have to test it first on a group of people who really show the taqwa. How do we know the people are taqwa? And this is another problem because in Islam, we cannot declare ourselves as piety or declare as a good person. Yeah, everything should be based on somebody's opinion, somebody's judgment. Yeah. Therefore, when we select a subject or audience for the testing validity, we should involve person who knows the characteristic of piety, and then by helping that person, we can select the subject to be part of the participant for validation of the test measurement. Okay, yeah. I hope you follow me. So this is the difference between regular psychology and Islamic. So when we need to measure something, we have to check it to the real person that we want to measure. Okay. That's the validation. The challenge of validation. Another challenge is that here, because all the help I already mentioned in the previous one that help is not is a fluid construct. So this changes every time because help is depend on how we behave. Yeah, if we behave committed to the sin, then the cult become sick. If we follow Allah, then our cult become healthier. So when we measure of the construct, we have to do the instruction. We have to make sure when you ask question to the subject, you have to ask in certain time. For example, you cannot say with a regular question about behavior. You have to mention about specific time. This morning, today, or in this week, what did you do? What do you do? By asking and put a boundary so we know the situation of the cult is looks like. Because if we're not giving a boundary to that question, we cannot compare. Because remember, when we do measurement, we have to compare one person with another person. So by giving a boundary of time, then the person we know when that condition happened. Right now, yesterday, month ago, because maybe last month he is 6. The cult is 6, but this time he is healthy because he do a lot of good deed and a lot of repentance. That's why he become better person. Okay, so measurement and the testimony. That's the challenge with the validation of the Islamic construct because behavior that we have is based on what do I call it? If I claim myself as a good person, it doesn't mean I'm good because sometimes I say good because I think I'm good, but somebody else maybe sees something different. So testimony is also important because whenever we say, are you doing a good deed? Yes, I do good deed every day. But in reality, somebody see, oh, they're going deed because they're not sincere. We just want to find acknowledgement for friends, not from Allah. Because we have to remember that Islam is not only measurement about human, but also how we relate to Allah. When we relate to Allah, then we need somebody else to help to understand ourselves, especially when we say good deed. Because in Al-Quran itself, when a lot of verses saying that, yes, I'm doing a good deed, but in reality, according to Allah, Allah mentioned also that you are not doing a good deed, you are doing a bad deed. Ya, saya selalu berbuat baik, but in reality they do a kerusakan. Ya, they are doing something. Yeah, according to the eyes of the regular person, he is doing a good deed, but in the eyes of the God, you are doing a bad thing. That's the challenge for us to have to remember that when we measure, we have to remember of the relation to Allah, not only good to the people, but good to Allah too. Okay, about the instruction, I already mentioned about the instruction, but because when I talk about the time boundary. So when you give instruction on every questionnaire, you have to mention about the time. This time, this week, today, yesterday, or in today, like that. Now, the last thing I would like to talk about the norm, good and bad. Yeah, good and bad. Whenever we say good, whenever we say bad, do you know that in a psychological test, when we talk about measurement, when people have a high score, mean he is doing a good thing. Yeah, better person if you can achieve high score. Bad person if you have low score, right? But in Islam, when we mention about good, sometimes it's not the extreme high or extreme low. In the middle, yeah, in the middle, mediocre. So how we can this translate to the measurement? Yeah. But I think this is need a revolution of the measurement because then the terminology of good, the cutting off is what number, what score. Yeah. Average must be, if you follow this, so the normal, Allah is normal. Normal in the mean what I mean. Average, yeah. Average is a good one. So whenever people score near the average, mean he is a good score. But if we have an outlier or we have a extreme low, extreme high, then we can consider as a bad. That's another thinking, but I think in real life it's difficult to achieve because we need to have sometimes commitment and agreement about this. But this is my thinking. Yeah, this is not implemented today, but this is my way of thinking. We should change our way of giving value of scoring. Average score is good one. Extreme high, extreme low is should be not good. But this is not for every construct. I think for certain construct we have to do that. Okay, I think almost done. Because I would like to give Rusty also time. So one more point here is that what does he learn today? Takeaway lesson that we have on this discussion is that when we talk about measurement, yeah, remember that the measurement is not help individual to understand our behavior, but also will assist us to align with the path to paradise and interacting with Allah by following His guidance and prohibition. So the instruments should help people to guide people better. So not just only to justify I'm a good or bad in real life in the dunya, but also our relationship with Allah is also good. So we have to make sure that every measurement should think in these two things. Always inform us, the score inform us how we good with other people, but also inform us how good we are interact with Allah. I think I'm done right now because still have Pak Rusti will talk a lot about the application, and I will give a chance to our friends, our guests here to share with me, with our friend about this topic. I think enough, Pak Haris. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Dr. Sumedi, for your insightful presentation. Now, we would like to have our second speaker, Dr. Ahmad Rusdi. He will bring us to manage how to transform value to construct in Islamic psychology, particularly akhlaq, and then develop this construct in psychological measurement. So, without further ado, please time and screen yours, Dr. Ahmad Yusri. Okay, for all participants, if you have any question, you can chat in the box. After this session, we would discuss our session. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillah.
Waalaikumsalam.
Can you optimize the screen?
Okay.
At the bottom, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Alhamdulillah, syukurillah wa ala ni'matillah wa salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in, amma ba'd. Today I will give a presentation about measuring akhlaq. I will share my experience in developing Islamic psychological skills, and I will inform you my experience, the steps, the methods, and the results. Yeah. Okay. I usually use two perspective of construct. Yeah. This is not the structure of the soul. This is the perspective, because there is many perspective to explain what is the soul. The first perspective is tahdhibul akhlaq perspective, and the second perspective is tazkiyatun nafs. This is two perspective to explain the akhlaq, because the both of perspective is very different. This is the first perspective, tahdhibul akhlaq perspective. This is the core of the concept that human have a three faculty of the soul. Yeah, human have three faculty of the soul. The first one is rational faculty. We know al-aql. Yeah, in the Quran mention aql, yaqilun, ta'qilun. This is a rational faculty, and the second one is ghadabiyah, animal faculty, al-ghadabiyah, and the third one is vegetative faculty or shahwiyah. Okay, this is the tahdhibul akhlaq perspective. Based on three faculty of the soul, yeah, human have a drive. The first drive is intellectuality. So akal give human intellect, and ghadabiyah give human aggressivity, anger, yeah, and vegetative faculty give a human temptations. This is a drive. This drive can make a virtues if you can control your intellectuality, if you can control your aggressivity, and you can control the temptations. This will be the outcome is a virtues, akhlaq. Yeah, there is any three core of akhlaq in this perspective. The first one is wisdom or hikmah. The second one is shaja'ah or bravery, and the third one is iffah and temperance. And the outcome of temperance is as-sakha. As-sakha is a generosity or kedermawanan. Yeah, generosity, a philanthropic character. And this part of the discussion, we can measure this part. Yeah, because you cannot measure rational, you can measure animal faculty, because the soul is latent. It's abstract, it's metaphysic, but akhlaq, behavior, you can measure it. And I already developed scale to measures for each virtues. Yeah, I will give you an example. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I already developed the fourth of the scales. The first one is wisdom. I found wisdom have two dimensions. The first dimension is analytical domain, and the second dimension is reflective domain. So, in tahdhibul akhlaq perspective, if you have wise character, you should have good in analytic, yeah, and you also good in reflective. We found two dimension and we test the construct, and the result is the wisdom have a good psychometric properties. And another scale, yeah, hikmah, wisdom, and temperance also, yeah. Temperance, where's temperance? Yeah, the temperance, Iffah, we already developed the scales of temperance. In Islamic concept is Iffah. So temperance is how yourself can control your temptations. So if you can control your temptations, you have good temperance. So I create a construct, and this is the three dimension of temperance. The first dimension is dignity, and dignity have some indicators, and the second dimension is modesty and stability. And we validate these scales, validate this construct, and the result, the construct have a good psychometric properties. And the third one is generosity or philanthropic, Islamic philanthropic characters. So Islamic philanthropic characters have 4 dimensions: acceptance, sociability, friendliness, and sympathetic. And this is based on the concept of tahdhibul akhlaq, samaha, al-musamaha, al-karam, al-muwasah. This is from tahdhibul akhlaq, and we reductions the indicators, and we create the dimension, and we test the scales, and the construct of the scales have good models and good psychotic properties. Okay, continue to another perspective. So the second perspective is tazkiyatun nafs. Seems like Dr. Sumedi tells you about disease called health and death called, yeah. So in this concept, yeah, the soul or the qalb have two conditions: amradul qulub, أو صحيح القلوب, القلب الصحيح أو القلب المريض. There is two condition of the heart or of the soul, and we can measure the conditions, amrad or sahih, illness or health. We can measure, yeah, we can measure, and this is the perspective of tazkiyah to nafs perspective. After we measure the condition of the heart, we can follow up with the intervention. Yeah, if they have amradul qulub or illness in the qalb, we should doing takhalli. Takhalli is emptying the bad deeds or the bad character of your souls. Is takhalli or therapeutic process. If you have a good soul, you have a sahih, qalbus sahih, you can actualize yourself to be a more good. So this is term is tahalli. Tahalli is conditioning yourself to be a more good people. Okay. So I will,
Dr.
yeah,
Mufti,
yeah,
could you please optimize the screen again?
yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So this is my experience, the process of building the scales. The most important step is a theoretical construct. Yeah, this is the most. Sorry. Yeah, the theoretical construct is the most important step because this is the step make your construct different in Islamic psychology and Western psychology. Yeah, this is the very important step, and I will give you an example how I construct the theory of Islamic psychology, construct the variable. Uh, okay, I will give you another presentations. Uh, uh, yeah, this is the how can we construct the Islamic psychological variable. So we know that Islamic psychological source is from Quran and Sunnah. Yeah, Quran, Sunnah, and some of the theory come from the observation of the universe, like Ibn Sina, like the Ibn Miskawai Al-Kindi. They observe the universe, observe the soul, observe the previous study to conclude the human souls. So we can elaborate the psychological construct from Qauliyah perspective and Kauniyah perspective. So Qauliyah is from Quran and Sunnah, and some of them from Kauniyah perspective, from your observation to the universe, to the nature. Yeah. So this is two ayah, al-ayah. So al-ayah al-qawliyah, al-ayah al-kawniyah. So this is two element of the revelations. Both of them is revelations. So revelation is not only a text. So the nature is also revelations. This is the paradigm of the source of the Islamic psychology. So you can create your construct from the Quran. You can read Quran if you good in Arabic, if you remember Quran cover by cover, if you understand the meaning of word in the Quran, you can create concept or construct the Islamic psychological variable. But if you don't have a good comprehension to understand all element of the Quran, we can use a concept from ulama, from Muslim scholars. Yeah. Yeah. I give you example. This book, I we construct the concept of qanaah not from Quran, not from Sunnah, but from ulama. Why? Because if you search qanaah in Quran or you search qanaah in Sunnah, you have only a little term about qanaah. That's textually, but contextually, maybe you can find a lot of concept of qanaah. But ulama also elaborate the concept from Quran and Sunnah. So I choose Al-Ghazali, I choose Ihya Ulumuddin to elaborate a qanaah. So this is the book is our book is example. I extracting the concept of qana'ah from Ihya Ulumuddin. So I put the text about qana'ah in every chapter, every chapter on Ihya Ulumuddin. Yeah, in every chapter, I put the text. I collecting all texts in Ihya Ulumuddin about qana'ah, and I extracting the concept, and I create a dimension of qana'ah, and I found 4 dimensions of qana'ah. And then we generate the items, and now we still analyze the data. So these examples. And the second examples, I try to constructing akhlaq from ulama, another ulama, not Al-Ghazali. For example, I constructing wisdom, bravery or shaja'ah, and temperance, Eva, from Ibn Miskawai. Yeah, I read the book, and different with the Al-Ghazali, Ibn Miskawai, very systematic. There is any aspect of the variable, there is any indicator of the variables, and I continues generate the item, yeah, and test the item, and validate the scales. Sometimes some concept from the ulama is very clear, very systematic, and another one is not very systematic. We should elaborate by yourself. Yeah. The third example, I elaborate the concept of shukr. Shukr. Yeah. I use Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah and Al-Ghazali to create a construct of gratitude, Islamic gratitude or shukr. Yeah. I read the book from Ibn Qayyim, Uddatu Sabirin wa Dakhirati Shakirin. I read the book, and I found there is 3 dimension of the shukr. Ashukr bil qalb, gratitude with your heart, and the second one is ashukr bil lisan, gratitude, verbal gratitude. For example, say hamdalah, and the third one is ashukr bil arkan, or your gratitude with your actions. So, and Al-Ghazali have a different concept, and I synthesize both of concept, and I create a construct, and I generate the item, and I test the item, and I validate the item, and the article was published in English. Yeah. I will tell you later. Okay, I will continue. So the first one is very important, and yeah. And the second one, you should design your scales. You should design your scales. Usually scholars design the psychological scales with self-reports, and create the design, the item, self-report, and Likert method, yeah, Likert approach, from strongly disagree to strongly agree, but not always like this. For example, I design the wisdom scales or the shaja scales not with the Likert approach, yeah, because some of akhlaq concept is not about your agree of the behavior or you not agree, yeah. Some akhlaq have different concept. For example, shaja or bravery. The concept of bravery is the center. So the bravery is you not to excessiveness in bravery, or you not to deficit in bravery. So pertengahan tuh apa? In the middle, yeah. So bravery, the ideal bravery is you in the middle bravery, not to excessiveness or not to deficit. So if the concept like this, you should design your scale different. So I use something like situational judgment test. So I give the situations, with the item, and the respondent should be judge what the behavior will he do. Will he do? Yeah. What he do something excessive or something deficit or something in the middle, deficit and excessive, uh, uh, in the middle, yeah, wasatiyah, al wasat, in the middle, justice, not too excessive or not too deficit. So this, if the concept like this, you should design scale differently. Okay. And after you design your scales and the suitable of your theories, the next step is you should build the item. You should build the item, and the principle of building item, I usually use two principles. The first principle is the item should be clear, yeah, and the second principle is the item should be short and clear, yeah. This is the principle of generating item, short and clear, yeah. And after you generate your item, some expert should check your item, yeah. So the next step is content validation. Content validation is the expert check your item. Is your item relate to the theories? After you create a good item and you eliminate the bad item, the next step is you test the scale to target respondents. You ask to them, is our item you can understand our item or not? Yeah. So you should check the item, the comprehension and the clarity. Yeah. Are the respondent understand of the item or not? So if all the item, the respondent can understand of all the item, you have a good face validity. And the next step is you should check the element of the scales. The element of the scales. So if you have, for example, 40 item or 30 item, you should check the element of the scale, the group of the item, or the dimensionality of the item. Now, if you find the dimensions, uh, your dimensions same like the theories, yeah, the empirical dimensions, you test to the respondents and you find the dimensions, and the dimensions and the theoretical dimension and the empirical dimension have a same concept, so you have a good factorial validity, because your dimensions and in the empirical stage have a same concept of your dimension in the theoretical concept. So the same condition between empirical stage and theoretical stage called validity. So you have a good validity if your dimension, if your factorial dimension and theoretical dimension have a same concept, have a same dimensions, yeah, or have a similar dimensions. And the next one is you should validate your construct. You should test your scale to another scales. Yeah. For example, I test my scale gratitude, syukur, to another scales. I validate my scales Islamic gratitude to gratitude questionnaire from another scholars. Yeah. This is for the examples. And the last ones, you should norming your data. Like Dr. Sumedi told you that norming in Islamic psychology is not about normal or high or low, yeah, or very high or very low. This is not norming in Islamic psychology, but in Islamic psychology, the norming is this is good or bad. This is qalbun sahih or qalbun marid, health or disease. So this is the norming in Islamic psychology. and we should make an effort to create the methods for the norming for this concept. How can we the procedures for the norming based on Islamic psychology? So this is not easy. We should create procedures, good procedure and good methodology to create the norming in Islamic psychology. So yeah, I will give you an examples. Yeah. The first example is arrogance, kibr, takabur, takabur or kibr or arrogance. So I create a construct, a kibr. This is simple. This is from Sunnah, because there is any clear statement about kibr from Muhammad SAW, that al-kibr is batarul haq wa ghamtun nas. Al-kibr huwa batarul haq wa ghamtun nas. This is word from Rasulullah SAW. So this is simple. So I put the two dimension of kibr. Batarul haq, rejecting the truth. So the arrogant people always rejecting the truth. And the second one is ghamtun nas, humiliating people, humiliating others. So this is simple, and I create a construct and I test the construct and have a good loading factors and good reliability, and I already publish the scales and the research on the international journal. Okay, this is the component, and this is good loading factors. Okay, the next one is hasad, envy. Yeah, I also already develop an envy scale or hasad scale, or envy, jealousness, envy or hasad, and this is the construct I make from the concept of Al-Ghazali. So hasad is you hate if another people have a blessing or have a favor, but you pleasures if another people lost of favor. Yeah, in Arabic term, tamanni zawal ni'mah inda sahibiha. You believe, you imagine, you make an imaginations another people lost of his favor. So this is hasad. So this is any two emotion of the hasad people. The first one is hate, and the second one is pleasures. So they always hate if people have something, if people have a blessing, if people have a favor, they always hate. And the second emotion is pleasures, happy, yeah, pleasure or happy. They happy if people lost of his blessing or lost of his favor, they always happy. So this is two emotion, and the two emotion is the component of hasad, and I test the scales and have a good reliability and factorial validity. This is the model, the hatred and the pleasures is the two component of hasad. Okay. So the contradiction of hasad is tanafus. Tanafus is competitiveness. So if hasad forbidden by Allah is haram, so competitiveness is a good something, is a sunnah, competitiveness. Yeah. So this is contradictions between hasad, opposite positions, hasad and competitiveness. So hasad is haram, and competitiveness. Sometimes some ulama said competitiveness is wajib, because Allah said, "Falyatanafasil mutanafisun." You should doing competitive. Sari'u ila maghfirah. Sari'u is competitive. Yeah. So I construct the item from Ihya Ulumuddin. I found two dimension of tanafus, or competitiveness. The first one is introspective, and the second was applicative. So why I put the introspective on the competitiveness construct? Because different with hasad people. If hasad people see the other people better than him, they usually hate. Why? He better than him. He better than me. So the competitive people usually introspects their self, introspect their self, and doing real actions for being a competitive, for being a better one. So the second dimension, applicative is a real actions. So different with hasad people, only imagination on his head that I hope another people lost of his favor or blessing, but the competitive people doing real actions, not only in imagination, they doing real actions. They always introspect themselves to be a better. So hasad and tanafus similar, but it's different, very different. But it's close but different. The first one is good and the first one is bad. So and Al Ghazali informed about this concept very clear. So this is the example, and the next ones I construct ikhlas in some psychology, and I try to create a dimension of ikhlas, the dimension of ikhlas. So I found two dimensions of ikhlas. The first dimension of orientations. The ikhlas people have a specific orientation of all his actions, all of his deeds, the orientation only to Allah. This is the characteristic of the ikhlas people. And the second one, not only their orientation to Allah, but they always purified their actions. If before they do something, they always purified. Okay, this thing only for Allah. So not only the orientation, but always purified. Okay, and test the scales, and the scales have loading factors and have a good factorial validity. Okay, the next one is gratitude. Gratitude, syukur, syukur. I already told you about this. I concept from Ibn Qayyim and Al-Ghazali, and this is the concept of the syukur, of the Islamic gratitude. So Al-Ghazali said that gratitude have four components. The first component is asyukur bil ilm. So ma'rifatun ni'mah is, you know that your blessing from Allah. This is asyukur bil ilm. And the second one, asyukur bil lisan. Bil lisan, your verbal, verbal gratitude. Say hamdalah, say thank you. This is verbal gratitude, or asyukur bil lisan. And the second one is asyukur bil arkan, with your actions. And I create the item from this concept. Ibn Qayyim said there is any three concept. Al-Ghazali said there is any three concept, but I found two dimensions. Ibn Qayyim thought syukur have three dimensions. Al-Ghazali thought syukur have three dimensions, but I empirically found that syukur have two dimensions. Why? Because syukur with qalb, and with ma'rifatun ni'mah merge in one component, the intrinsic gratitude. So in empirically, there is any two syukur, intrinsic gratitude and extrinsic gratitude. Intrinsic gratitude is you're grateful, you feel grateful, you feel happy, you feel satisfied, you feel ridha to Allah. This is intrinsic gratitude. And the extrinsic gratitude, you're doing good because Allah give you any blessing. You say hamdalah, you doing sadaqah, you doing zakah. This is extrinsic gratitude. This is real actions. So gratitude not only say hamdalah. So you should do something. If Allah give you something, if Allah give you blessing, you not only say hamdalah, you not only satisfied, not only ridha, accept, but you should do something. The easiest something is say hamdalah or say thank you. But Allah wants you do more, doing sadaqah, ibadah, and another good deeds. For example, Rasulullah SAW Salatul tahajjud, qiyamul lail, a very long durations, long duration until his feet feeling pain, and Rasulullah SAW wife say, why are you doing this? And Rasulullah SAW answers, afala akunu abdan syakuran, afala akunu abdan syakuran. Yeah, I only want to be a grateful person. So Rasulullah only want to be a grateful person. He doing qiyamul lail very long durations. So gratitude is not only feeling grateful. This is different in Western concept. So the Western concept of gratitude only appreciate. So gratitude, syukur is not only appreciate. You should do something. You should doing ibadah. You should doing amal solih to show your real action of blessing of Allah. Okay. And I already published the article on the journal. You can read. You can read from the PowerPoint. You can search the title, and you can search in the internet on the Google. You should be finding the article. Okay. And the next one is patience. Patience, sabr. So sabr have. This is from Ibn Qayyim. I create this concept from Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah. So there is any 4 dimension of the sabr. Yeah. As-sabr anil musibah, or patience with difficulties. And the second one is as-sabr controlling your anger. So controlling temptation and controlling your anger is as-sabr anil ma'siyah. Yeah. As-sabr anil ma'siyah have a 2 part. The controlling your anger, you can control your anger and you can control your temptations. And the last one is sabr is consistently doing a good deed, or as-sabr fit ta'ah. As-sabr fit ta'ah, you have to consistent. If you doing good deeds, you have to consistent. So consistency is also sabr. Not only in calamity or not only difficulties, sabr is only the consistency if you doing good. Okay. So Al-Ghazali said the sabr is very wide construct. Yeah, the most wide construct is a sabr, because if you ridho, you also sabr. If you istiqamah, you consistent, you also sabr. If you can control your anger, you also sabr. So sabr is very wide construct. This is theories from Al-Ghazali. So I create the item, I test the scales, and have a good factorial validity. So the next one is a ridha. Yeah, ridha or acceptance. Yeah, ridha, acceptance. So the ridha have 4 dimensions. You ridha with the test by God, with the difficulties by the God, a takdir from Allah, you ridha. And the second one, you ridha everything in the past time. You accept everything in the past time. So this is also ridha. And the next one is you ridha of the future. Tawakkul. Tawakkul is about the future. If you tawakkul, if you accept what will happen in the future, because Allah have to decide what the future happen, and we accept everything what will be happen because Allah decides. So this is a tawakkul. So ridha, you accept what everything in the future. So you have a ridha, and your ridha, you accept a blessing from God. This is also a ridha. So ridha is a multidimensional. Yeah, ridha is multidimensional. Ridha is a simple word but a complex construct. Okay. So the next one is peacefulness. Peacefulness. So this construct I create from surah Ar-Ra'd. Ala bi dhikrillahi tatma'innal qulub. Ala bi dhikrillahi tatma'innal qulub. And I try to explore the meaning of tatma'innal qulub from mufassirin. From mufassirin, I make a list. Yeah. I listing the definitions, and I synthesize, and I found two meaning of peacefulness, 2 components of peacefulness. The first is calmness, And the second one is confidence. So peaceful is not only calm, quiet, not only passive sides, but also there is any active sides. So confidence is also peaceful. So confidence is active sides of the peaceful. So and the calmness is passive side of the peaceful. The combination of both is peacefulness. And I already test the scales and have a good validity. And you can read the article, and I published in international journal. Okay. So the next one is husnul zon. Yeah, husnul zon. Yeah, I already this scale maybe 12 years ago, but I revalidate, I reconstruct the concept, and I found that husnul zon have two dimensions: husnul zon to Allah and husnul zon to people. So this is come from ayah. For example, la taqnatu min rahmatillah. La taqnatu min rahmatillah. If you su'udhan to Allah, this is haram. So you should husnudhan to Allah. La taqnatu min rahmatillah. So there is any dhan to Allah. In hadith, it said, ana inda dhanni abdi bi. So Allah follow what the people think. If I think like this, Allah will give it. So we should have always good husnudhan to Allah, and also have a good husnudhan or husnudhan to people. And I test two dimension, and I create the scales, and the validity is good. I have a good validity, and I test with the any method, and the validity is also good. So okay, is any time or enough, or
Oh, wow. 2 minutes left.
how many left? 15. Okay, I will more explore the finding. So the method. This is I already told you the brief how to develop scales, but I will tell you a specific method. The first method I usually use factorial validity, because this is important. This is important part of the method. So when I found calmness, for example, I found calmness and confidence. Is this dimensions right or wrong? Yes. This is the most important. If the dimension can explain by the previous theories, can explain by the Quran, so your construct is good. For example, when I decide there is any two dimension, calmness and confidence, I try to search in the Quran, is this good concept? So I found in Mufassirin that tatma'in or mutma'inna have a different meaning. Yeah, different meaning. Mutma'inna, some Mufassirin said mutma'inna is as-sukun. As-sukun is calm, is quiet, is passive. But some Mufassirin divine mutma'inna is al-yaqin. So al-yaqin and as-sukun. Al-yaqin is belief. Yeah, you have a belief, you have a confidence. So if your finding can explain by the theories, so your factorial validity is good. So this is my method. Okay, I will explain the another example. So this is the example. Sabr, yeah, sabr. Ulama only said the sabr had only three dimensions. As-sabr عند المصيبة, sabr in calamity, in musibah, and the second one as-sabr fi tarkil ma'siyah, to avoid a bad things, as-sabr to avoid a bad things, and the third one is as-sabr fi ta'ah, as-sabr fi ta'ah, as-sabr and in the good things, in the good behavior, you always doing good behavior. ulama said only 3 dimension, but I found 4 dimension. How can I explain this? Yeah, and I explore and uh, and then I find that الصبر في ترك المعصية, الصبر to avoid a bad deed, separate to 2 parts. So al-ma'siyah come from 2 things. Al-ma'siyah come from anger and come from temptations. So if the empirical finding can explain by the theories, by the previous theories or by the fundamental theories, your construct is good, your factorial validity is good. But if your finding cannot be explained by the another theories, you should evaluate your scales, you should evaluate your dimension, you should evaluate the items. Alhamdulillah, I always explain my finding, and yeah, because I try to generate the item very carefully. So this is very important to generate the item carefully. So this is will imply the implication to the validity. If you're not careful in generate the item, this will be problem when you explain your dimensions. And and the important steps also is the confirmatory, the confirmation of the models. This is the also important things, because this step is to confirm what the models you create, what the construct you say this is good, yeah, this is good dimension, is this good models. So you need to analyze another analysis to decide this is good model or not. Yeah, you should constructing the dimensions, you should put the item, and all of them in one model have each have a psychometric properties, have each scores. So this is also important step. Yeah, and the last one is you should correlate your scale to another scale. I will give you an example. Yeah, for example, this I correlate tawadu with self-efficacy and takabur with self-efficacy. We know that self-efficacy is good thing, so tawadu is a good thing. Takabur is a bad thing. So this is why tawadu have a significant correlation, and takabur doesn't have a significant correlations. So this is a construct validity. This is important part of the validation of the scales. So if takabur have a correlation with self-efficacy, you should evaluate your scale. You should evaluate your takabur scale. So if my finding have a good correlation, tawadu have a good correlation, but takabur is no correlation, so inshallah I have a good scales. I will tell you another example. Yeah, this is the another example. I use pen. So hasad is a bad thing. Hasad is madhmumah, akhlaqul madhmumah. This is bad thing. And hasad should be negatively or no correlation with a positive thing. For example, yeah, hasad doesn't have any correlation with tanafus. Hasad and competitiveness has no correlation, because hasad and competitiveness is different. Hasad is imagination, only imagination. Yeah, but competitive is real action. So why there are no correlation between hasad and tanafus? Yeah, no correlation. Yeah, but hasad has a strong correlations with benign envy. Yeah, a malicious envy. So malicious envy is another scales the malicious envy is destructive envy. So hasad and malicious envy have a strong correlation. This is why, because hasad and malicious envy is a little bit same. Hasad is destructive and envy is also destructive. But benign envy is adaptive or developmental envy. Benign envy is good envy, like tanafus. This is why hasad and benign envy should be has no correlation. We'll see. Yeah, there is no correlation. This is no correlation because benign envy, good envy, and hasad is different. Hasad is bad, benign envy is good. So why they have negative correlation and no correlations? So if your hasad and benign envy have a positive correlation, you should evaluate your scale. If hasad and tanafus have a correlation, you should evaluate your scales. Yeah. So if hasad have no correlation with tanafus, so you have a good scales. Yeah. And hasad no correlation with benign envy, you have a good scales. So this is very important part to validate your scales. Okay. Wait. Okay. Yeah, this is the another example how the important you correlate your scale with another scales. So this is husnul dhan. Husnul dhan, yeah. I try to put the husnul dhan as a predictors of another construct. Yeah, husnul dhan as a predictors predict the acceptance. Why? Because I think if you have husnul dhan, if you have a good or a positive thinking, you should have a positive perception of yourself. Because of you have positive perception of yourself, you should accept yourself. So husnul dhan can predict the self acceptance, and I found the strong predictions. Also, husnul dhan have a strong predictions on efficacy, self esteem. Because if you have a positive thinking, you have positive esteem on yourself. So if the prediction is significant and positive, is also positive. So you have a good if you have a good scales, you have a good scales. But if your scales no correlations, no predictions, you should evaluate your scales. Okay, this is the important thing. And in psychometric term, it's called nomological validity. Yeah, nomological validity. This is the validation technique which your scales predict to another scales, or your scales predicted to another scales. In the next studies, I conduct research that husnul dhan is predicted by Islamic spirituality. Islamic spirituality. I still conducted the research. The more you have a complex model, the more you good nomological validity. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Maybe I will give a chance to discussion. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Ahmad Rusdi, for this very interesting about how transforming from Islamic value into measurement in psychology. Now it's in our discussion session. You can raise your hand if you have any question, or you can check within our chat box in this room. Yeah. We have already one or maybe two questions in the chat box. We read it. The first one is from, I think, from Farhana Adam. The question is addressed to Dr. Sumedi. Dr. Sumedi has mentioned the state of the heart, but I only count on two: healthy and diet heart. Maybe what is the third one? And then also for Dr. Sumedi, from Nazia Zafar. If we don't find those who actually practice the construct understudy, or we are not sure whether or not they are actually practicing it or not, so can we go to the expert like Islamic scholars or researchers for content validity to get their view whether the element of the measurement design truly represent the construct or not? The second question from Nazia Safar, also addressed to Dr. Sumedi. In terms of the concept of call in Islam, how to operationally define the healthy construct commonly used in mainstream psychology like mindfulness and resilience? Okay, it's all the question for Dr. Sumedi.
Okay, well, thank you, Pak Haris, for reading the question. This question is also in the question and answer, right?
Yes, the chat box.
Yeah, maybe my explanation is not quite clear yet. When I talk about cough, there are three, right? Three conditions. One is healthy cough, and then sick cough, and dead cough. And dead cough, I didn't mention anything because the definition of dead cough is when we ignore the Allah presence and the Allah authority in our life, then that means we are, according to Islam, is dead. Even though in our life, daily life, we are doing fine, but in the eyes of Allah, you means nothing, and you will get the punishment and the day after. Yeah. I think the sick cough, like Dr. Atma Tulsi also explained, when you ask about how do we know, what is the question? How do we know? The second question, what is?
If it
From Nol Salis first. Okay, hang on, I found it.
from Nazia Zafar.
Have you any suggestion how to validate measure of the construct to example, reference, or article? Okay, thank you for the question. How to validate or measure the construct, any example, reference, or articles? Well, this is Islamic construct is just newcomer in the world, and everybody here, I think, with the reference of psychology coming from the West, our thinking is using frame of thinking from the West, from the European and America. So when we introduce the new concept about construct, then we have to think how to solve this problem and how to validate or measure the construct, any example, reference. The validation consists of different way, What I'm talking about in this discussion is that we validate the content, right? But validation validity or validation means that how accurate the construct measure what we want to measure and the purpose of the measurement, right? That's the new definition of validation. Valid means that the score, the value of the, what I mean is the score of the test on the scale is just measure what we want to measure. And how accurate the measurement is depend on how the supporting process to support this. For example, like one scale, you know, we have reliability is one supporting data to validate the scale. And then Dr. Rusdi always mentioned about the statistical analysis. The statistical analysis is also supporting the validity of the measure. So the more we have supporter, the more valid, because validity is not talking about the number. Validity is talking how accurate, and this is accreditation, you know. It's not zero valid or 100% valid. No, we have to say a very valid, a little bit, not all, very low validity. So if we want to see the reference, we just depend on the report. If we read the article, you know, when we read the article and the article says this score on this measure was supported by different media to justify the validity, then we can justify that the scale or the score we use to measure is very valid. I think that's my answer. Well, maybe Dr. Ahmad Rusdi can help me to explain, because you already mentioned different kind of validity procedure. The more procedure we apply to the article or the measurement, the more valid the item or the scale will be. I think I hope it helped to answer Sister Nor.
Thank you, Dr. Sumedi. I think it's also very relevant with already discussion. Already have discussed from Dr. Ahmad Rusdi. So maybe Dr. Ahmad Rusdi, can you explain?
Okay. The question is, can we go to the experts like Islamic scholars or researchers for the content validity? Whether the element of the measurement design truly represent the construct or not. Yeah. Can we go to the expert like Islamic scholar? Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can meet experts or Muslim scholars or Islamic scholars or Islamic experts to confirm what your construct is good. I already doing something like this. When I create wisdom scales, hikmah scales, ifah scales, syaja'ah scales, I not only decide by myself. Yeah, I invite another scholars, not always from psychology. I invite from Islamic studies, from Islamic and Arabic studies. Yeah, Islamic Arabic studies, and the second one from Islamic philosophy, from other disciplines, to make sure what we construct is right or not. So they check the construct, they check the theories, they check the fundamental, and they agree and give advice, an advice, and we evaluate the scales, and we try to synthesize the conclusions. And after that, if the experts say, okay, this was good, and the next step is I generate the item. So So this step is different with the content validations. The content validation is only for your item, not your construct. Your construct is this is part of construct validations, but in theoretical step, not in psychometrical step. So there is any construct validation in theoretical stage, not in psychometrical stage. Before your item is generated, you should make a clear concept. So this concept should be reviewed on the another experts or another scholars. So you can make sure this is good. So this is very important because you're wrong when you're constructing the scales. This is will be a problem in the next analysis. This is very, very important step. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Maybe we can move on the next question, Dr. Rusi and also Dr. Sumedi.
Hang on, Pak Haris. This question from Sister Nazia Zafar. In terms of the concept of cult in Islam, how to operationally define the healthy construct commonly used in the mainstream of psychology like mindfulness and resiliency? I think non-Muslim country or non-Muslim person already have the similar concept what we have in Islamic concept, like resilience. Resilience, we can translate it as a sabar. So the problem here, I think, is we have to adjust the resilience mean with other non-Muslim scholar with the Muslim scholar. We have to adjust first and then we just do it. I think Dr. Amarushi can justify this too, you know, because some concept is already used by other before Islamic construct arise, you know. Yeah. So it doesn't matter whether resiliency is, I think resiliency, I can translate it as a sabar too, because resilience is very persistent with the difficulty to solve the problem. That's a sabar or resilience. Okay, that's my short answer. Dr. Rosti maybe can add me.
Okay.
Amy is raising hand.
Before we go to Dr. Amy, maybe Dr. Ramzi will give more explanation.
Okay, the question is how to operationally define the healthy construct commonly used in mainstream psychology, like mindfulness and resilience. So, because Islamic psychology have a different paradigm, in my opinion, resilience maybe have a correlation with sabr, but still difference. Sabr and resilience still difference. Mindfulness and peacefulness or mutmainnah still difference. For example, if resilience, if people have a high resilience, and why they resilience? Why? For their self or for what? What the purpose of resilience? But in sabr,
The intention.
Yeah, the intention. The sabr is different. I doing this good thing because I want to ta'ah to Allah. Yeah, because this is ibadah. This is ibadah. I persist of the difficulties. Why? Because Allah give us takdir, give us musibah, because this is from Allah. This is test from God. So this is the fundamental difference between sabr and resilience. In patience, also patience in sabr, in term is different. Patience, I have an article about patience in psychology, in modern psychology, in Western psychology. The connotation of patience is waiting. Yeah, the word definition is different. Patience, waiting. But sober, if a heart in the term, in word by word, yeah, the definition by word, heart, sober is heart, like a stone. The word lughatan is different, yeah. Lughatan is different. So the different of the word, different of the cultures, different of the paradigm will give us the different of the concept, of course. So this is my opinion. Thank you.
Okay, very interesting.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Before we move to the any question, I think we give the opportunity for Dr. Emi Zulaifa. You can now.
Okay, thank you, Pak Haris. I have one question, and it's related to something that I'm now doing. But first of all, I'd like to comment on the understanding of Sabar. I think Sabar contain in it the capacity for us to transcend, yeah, to see the problems that we are facing in a higher level. So that one understanding sometimes not included in the way we understand Sabar. So there is this ability for us to transcend, to see the problems in a higher, from a higher level. Yeah. So maybe I need to comment on that. But my question is related to something that I'm now doing. I'm now working in developing this construct on Quranic work ethic. It's very interesting how when we try to build a construct, and this is based on the Quran, you see that, it gives us some kind of a more comprehensive understanding of the issue that we're dealing with. Like, it's the issue of work. And you see in different literature, some other experts try to define constructing the understanding of Islamic work ethic. But then you see when they do that, they make that into scale, then we could see that the items were, I think, mostly socially desirable. I mean, people can fall into faking good in answering that. So that's why I'm so intrigued here to kind of construct measure on Quranic work ethic, Islamic work ethic that is based on the Quran, and in a way that it's going to let people answer as they do the work, as they conduct their work behavior. So, but this is easier said than done, I think. Lebih mudah disampaikan, susah untuk dilakukan, begitu ya. Easier said than done, because when we try to do so, after constructing the concept and generating the item, we decided that this has got to be multidimensional. And then we do the factor analysis, it turned out to be unidimensional. I mean, it looks everywhere. And it's quite difficult for us to kind of construct one solid understanding of, that this item fall into this one dimension, but then another item fall into that dimension, and, they don't even relate to each other. So that was rather difficult, but I think because we need to have sabr, and we have to do istiqamah. So I'm not giving up yet. So I'm going to do another research on this, and inshallah, we will do like restart from generating the items carefully enough, and and then to examine that through empirical testing. I don't know. I need suggestion from Dr. Rusdi and Dr. Sumedi. What should I do with that? Thank you.
Okay. Maybe Dr. Ramasri, you can answer the question.
Okay.
Thursday.
Yeah. This is the problem when you conduct the psychometrical testing. We're doing factor analysis and each component mixing. This is the problem. and I have an experience like this, and I evaluate why this happened, and I found the answers. And the problem is we don't have a good item. We don't have a good in generating item. So so the item should be specific, and each dimension no, no, in one dimensions, the item in one dimension as uh, should be similar as possible. Should be similar in one dimensions. Yeah, in one dimension should be similar, should be clear, and you cannot writing the item in wide context. Use a specific context.
Okay.
And similar redaction, not similar redaction, but yeah, similar redactions. This is will and I try to create with this technique, and the result is good.
Okay.
I always found the good
And-
analysis.
Okay, and if we propose several dimension, it means that each dimension should contain, really different items from another dimension. Ya, jadi masing-masing dimensinya beda-beda, itemnya harus distinct.
So one item only measure one understanding. If some
Okay.
Subject interpret differently, then become two dimensions. So should have the similar translation, have similar interpretation for everybody who answer that question.
Okay.
That's why we have to write the sentence as clear as possible. So it's not necessary
Yeah.
just subject, predicate, object. Don't add anything else.
Subject, verb, and then the object.
One object.
Yeah,
So everybody has
Very
similar
specific. Yes.
interpretation.
Okay, and another question. In Islamic construct, we often deal that it just doesn't deal with what the observed behavior, but Islamic construct often measures different levels from thought, then emotion, affect, because that's the concept of Imam Al-Ghazali. The ABC of psychology, in fact, it was him that found it. Yeah, so there is this affect, and then cognition, and also the behavior. Will this be possible to include this, into our question? Because you don't feel satisfied, oh, they only tell about the behavior. They don't tell about what they feel about this behavior. I understand that I have to work well and work, according. I have to exert the best effort I can. For example, that can include thought, that can also include emotion, and then also behavior. So how is it that we can't tap into the three levels, three different areas of our psychology, into our measure? Thank you.
There are knowledge. When we talk about knowledge, to remember about test and examination.
I see. Yeah, cognitive.
True and
yes.
false. Yeah, in cognition, we just say no or don't know. If you know, we
Okay.
score 1, and don't know, 0.
Okay.
That's for
Okay.
cognitive.
Thank
But
you.
behavior, we just count it how often,
Okay.
seldom, less behavior, I think. But Roshi, maybe have another idea.
He's trying to find a better place.
Yeah, because the microphone is cognitive. How do we can measure cognitive aspect, emotions and behavior? Okay. I never try to doing like this, but I have an idea, and I maybe in the next time I will apply this idea. So we can use variation of the type of the question.
Right.
So for
Right,
example,
yeah.
we usually always use Likert. Likert is not suitable for all aspects. Yeah, not suitable for all. This is good for emotions. I said, I very sad. Yeah, I'm happy, very happy. This is good
For attitude also.
yeah, for attitude. But for behavior, I think another that type of question is better. For example, a Thurston scale is better because Thurston scales is there is a list of behavior which list the list like you. So this is more good. Yeah, this is more better, more measurable than with Likert. And cognitive, cognitive aspect, we can use situational judgment. Yeah, we can create the situations and what you choose. So what they choose can represents their thinking. So we can combine the each combine the variation of the type of the questions, and the next problem is how about the scoring? Different type of question. How can we doing a same score? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I found this. I can solve the problem. You should use the standardize. Each question you should standardize of each
The score.
standardize using the standardize, because if you standardize, the range is the same. The range of the scores will be same. So I think we can use this technique, but I not yet do this because my construct just only in one side. For example, only for example, tomanina is maybe just feeling. So yeah, maybe in the next study we can use.
I'm doing that now. Only that it has not resulted in good or solid measures. So that's why I'm going to redo it. But I don't want to leave that different aspect of our psychology, which is the ABC of psychology that is founded by Imam Al-Ghazali. I thought that was very important. So thank you anyway for all the recommendation. Thank you, Sir Dr. Rusdi and Dr. Sumedi.
You're welcome.
Okay, I'm sorry we have running out of time, but we still have two questions. I think Dr. Rusdi can briefly or short answer this question from Liza Anggreni and also from Vita Jaffa. In your opinion, to what extent can we transcend the Islamic construct, be juxtaposed or reputed the Western fundamental theorem? And the second from Vita Jafar, your opinion about maybe 4 or 5 construct for checking the healthy heart. Okay, I think our last question. Dr. Ahmad Rusdi.
Can you repeat the first question?
The first is, to what extent can we transcend the Islamic construct that be just juxtaposed or repeated by Western fundamental theorem?
What it means? I cannot understand.
How we can transcend Islamic construct? Maybe we
Or
can
compare
with Western. So can we justify it and also?
Okay. The first answer is about the Islamic construct and modern construct. Because both of them have a different paradigm, so because both of them have a different paradigm, so the something what the behavior what they measure is different. So for example, resilience and sabr is different. They correlate, but they different. So Islamic construct and Western construct, maybe we can correlate each other. We can correlate, but the definition is still different. Yeah, I always correlate. For example, syukur and gratitude, syukur and positive affect, and syukur and negative affect. Positive affect is positive affect. Healthy cope is different. It's still different. A negative effect is unhealthy cope is still different. Or mental health is the same of the qalbun sahih. I think this is very different. Qalbun sahih and mental health, this is very different. Or mental illness and qalbun marid is still different. But we still correlate to each other. I think, in my opinion, correlate the Islamic construct is a Western construct is important to bridge our study to the internationally, to deliver our study to international. I think this is important. Yeah, yeah, because if you say about shukr, sabr, they don't understand, but if you correlate the shukr with gratitude, a positive affect or positive thinking or positive or satisfactions, maybe internationally people will understand. So this is my opinion. Thank you.
Okay, and the second question about from Vita Java. Four of maybe five construct for checking healthy heart from you.
Okay, healthy heart. Yeah. Yeah. I still constructing the the measurements. Yeah, still the studies not finished yet. But in some of book, some of kitab, they have a very clear concept above alamatul qalbun sahih or alamatul qalbun marid. This is very clear. The indicators, there is any subchapter of the book of the in the Ihya Ulumuddin, for example, there is any clear statement about the indicators of disease colp, yeah, or health colp. This is very clear, uh, very clear, and we can use this concept, the indicators. But I'm still doing the studies. But in generally, colp is like the in device in computer. Colp like uh, device to connect yourself to Allah. This is the analogy. Your corp is like a device to connect yourself to Allah. So if what the indicators of the disease, if you have disease of your corp, so your connection is disturbed. your connection to Allah is disturbed. You have low sensitivity. You have low sensitivity. You have, when you're doing a sins behavior, for example, you're not sensitive anymore. Yeah, you don't have any sensitive. Yeah, but if you have a good culp, you're very sensitive. This is good, this is bad. Yeah, I like this is good thing, and I like this. You're very sensitive. But when you have a disease culp, you're not sensitive. And if your culp is dead, your sensitivity is turned off. This is the analogy. And this concept was also said in Muhammad SAW in hadith, yeah, like a dot. Yeah, if your corp like a dot, like your corp and the sins like a dot. If you doing a sins, you make a dot, and until your heart being a black, yeah, and when your heart being a black, your heart will be malfunctions. Yeah. Okay. So this is the general concept of indicators of the disease of heart. But if you want to if you want to doing studies to measuring the disease of heart, the condition of your corp, you can use this concept alamatul qalb. Yeah, you can use the alamatul qalbun marid, alamatul qalbun sahih. This is very clear, very clear statement, very clear concept. Yeah. And if you want to generate or elaborate from Quran, no problem. You can generate from Quran. You can read from Quran cover by cover to found the concept of the corp, the concept of the healthy corp or disease corp, and you can make indicators. This is no problem. But if you want to looking for ulama also from Quran, from Sunnah, you can also use the concept from the ulama. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your answer, Dr. Ramasri and Dr. Sumedi. And I'm sorry because we have our time is has end. But if you have still any question, you can just chat personally with Dr. Ramasri or Dr. Sumedi. Okay, thank you for your engaged participation. Special thanks for our speaker, Dr. Sumedi, and also Dr. Ramasri, for sharing such valuable knowledge with us. Before we close, there is a message from Dr. Habib Rizin that he would like asking us to make a dua for our brother, Dr. Hisham Al-Talib, the president of Triple IT, who is currently um, underwent surgery due to a brain hemorrhage. So we can recite Surah Al-Fatihah to make a dua for Dr. Hisham Al-Talib. Ilahatiniyah Al-Fatihah. A'udzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Rahmanirrahim. Maliki yaumiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Allahumma shalli wa sallim ala Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma ahdi basarqana si isfihi anta syafi la syifan illa syifauka syifan la yughadiru saqama. Allahumma ahdi basarqana si isfihi anta syafi la syifan illa syifauka syifan la yughadiru saqama. Allahumma ahdi bil basarqana si isfihi anta syafi la syifan illa syifauka syifan la yughadiru saqama. Madika arhamar rahimin.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you, Dr. Haris.
Dua. Now the time is for MC. Time is up. Thank you. And if we have any, sorry if we any apologies for our mistake. Thank you for your attention and participation. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Amin, amin, ya rabbal alamin. Thank you, Dr. Haris.
Thank you, Dr. Habib Ahmad Kirzin.
Amin. I hope President of Triple IT, Mr. Hisham Al-Talib, can recover very soon.
Amin, amin.
Thank you so much for the insightful materials from our speaker and the moderator. Thank you for leading this session. Ladies and gentlemen, before we close this agenda, Mrs. Suwanadia will provide an explanation about essay paper, so please stay in Zoom.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, Sister Lutfina, for addressing me. Ladies and gentlemen, dear participants, please allow me to share some information on the top. Okay, some information about the contents and format of the term paper. Can the host of the Zoom please give me access or share screens? Okay, I have not been given access to share screen.
You already can, Mrs. Nadia. You already.
Okay. Dear participants, Alhamdulillah, we are so happy to have you. You have come to roughly more than half of the course till this day. So inshallah, we will still have 4 more courses to go. And I will keep it short because in uh, in our area, it will be we are going to have Jumu'ah prayer. So let me please present to you the content and format of term paper. So as you may have known that upon your participation in this sixth IICIP, there will be several requirements that you need to fulfill in order to be eligible to receive the certificate of completion or the certificate of participation. So, as you may have known, this IICIP is an intensive course that consists of numbers of lecture sessions. And for the completion of the whole program is equivalent to 3 credit hours, while the participation in the lecture is equivalent to only 2 credit hours. I would like to elaborate a little bit on this. So, as you may have known, that this course, students are required to submit a term paper on a topic in which Islamic psychology perspective is relevant. So we hope that at the end of this whole course, you have had a lot of insight to which you would like up with Islamic psychology as the perspective. And then after you have composed these papers, then these qualified papers will be decided by the reviewers and can be submitted for the International Conference on Islamic Psychology, or we abbreviate it as IICIP. And this is a biennial conference held by Universitas Islam Indonesia that will be held on November 2024, and it will be held online. So it would be just like IICIP, it would also be held online. And this final paper will be graded and classified into the following levels, which is poor, satisfactory, very good, and also excellent. Dear participants, there are requirements should you want to pursue certificate of completion, then the participants that are eligible for this certificate must fulfill the following requirements. First is that you must attend all 10 sessions of your lectures. So you must attend all of the lectures. Suppose if you, due to different times, you cannot attend synchronously with our, then you are obliged to follow and learn from the recordings that we will send to you. And so therefore, it is mandatory for you to attend all 10 sessions of the lectures. And the second requirement is after you have finished all of these lectures, inshallah, you will have much better understanding about Islamic psychology. So therefore, we hope that you write a paper within the topics of Islamic psychology as a perspective. And then after that, we will give you enough time, inshallah, about 1 to 2 months to compose and then submit your article in the upcoming IICIP, or we call it IICIP, and that is the international course on Islamic psychology that will be held on this upcoming November. And then after that, we hope that you will also present your article in that conference as well. And then upon the completion, after you have fulfilled all of these 3 requirements, then you have fulfilled 3 credit hours. And for the scholarship awardees, your submission and presentation in IICIP will be free of additional charge. But for our regular participants, we inshallah, there will be a flexibility in terms of in terms of the payments. That is for the certificates of completion. So these are the requirements. Next, I would like to elaborate on the certificates of participation. And this is only eligible for participants who fulfill full attendance of all 10 sessions. And then they also compose the paper within the topics of Islamic psychology, but they do not intend to submit or to present their paper in the upcoming IICIP this November. So therefore, if you only fulfill the number 1, 2 points, then therefore you are eligible for a certificate of participation only. So therefore, you have fulfilled 2 credit hours. And and then after submission, your papers will be evaluated based on the following criteria. First of all, your papers should be a multi-perspective and comprehensive approach. And then after that, we also will evaluate the papers based on how it explains the urgency of the problem being addressed, the critical review of the existing literature, Islam concepts as possible alternative explanations or the basis for the solutions, and last but not least, the accurate and systematic proposed solution. So that will be the criteria for your papers to be evaluated, whether it will be identified as poor, satisfactory, very good, and excellent. And the format of the paper should be typed in Times New Roman, size 12 and 1.5 space. Inshallah, our committee, we will upload in our Google Classroom and also in our WhatsApp group the terms and conditions and also the formats of the paper. And that's it, my information today. Is there any question, dear participants?
Mandi.
Okay. Okay. So from Sister Imran, is there any format or sample of the term of paper? Yes. We will share it with you in a different file. So we will share this presentation file for you and also the format paper. And the submission deadline for the paper, inshallah, around 1 to maximum 2 months from now. We have not fixated. We haven't concluded what date, but inshallah we will inform you as soon as possible. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. Can I just seek some clarification?
Sure.
Yes, my name is Bibi Jan. I'm from Singapore. I'd like to thank the organizing committee for the wonderful Majlis Ilmu. I think Alhamdulillah, but I just think that I also like the idea of having this as part of the conference coming up in November. And it's a very good intellectual exercise. But I suggest, if I may suggest, one way is to extend or to form a group of community practitioners, because sometimes we are practicing in our own way in different contexts, in different location. So I appreciate the idea of having a group of practitioners who share the same practice, and we can have a kind of a peer support among ourselves. So sometimes if I need to consult Dr. Rushdie, or I need to consult anyone there, my one of my best friend is Dr. Amy Zulaifa. So sometimes we can always talk. So I think if we can have a community of practitioners, a kind of peer support program, I think a lot more can be done to have this intellectual and spiritual capital among the practitioners of Islamic psychology and counseling. Wallahu alam. Thank you, Jazakumullah.
MashaAllah. Thank you so much, Bibi Jan. You are such an enthusiastic participant. You've been here in IICIP for a very long time. Thank you so much. Mashallah, yes. I could not agree more about how there should be a community of all these intellectuals from this program. Inshallah, perhaps maybe the committee can facilitate to make somehow an online group for that, perhaps. But suppose if this question applies for the paper, should you arise the question, does the paper have to be individually composed, or can it be group composed? It can be individual or group composed with the same participants inside this program, but with a maximum of one group consists of only 3 people. So no more than 3 people. You can compose within that group. I hope that answers Bibi Jen. Thank you. Thank you, madam. And I have another question. Can we get to see an example of an excellent article? Yes, you will. Inshallah, we will share it with you in the Google Classroom. And Sister Zainab Farouk, our non-university student. Yes, you may. Yes, you may. We are very welcome with many perspectives from all lines of life. Whether you are an academician, a practitioner, or you are an Islamic psychology enthusiast yourself, please, maybe we can exercise in writing your ideas here. Suppose if you do find it difficult because you are difficult in writing, we can encourage you to make a small group of authors consisting maximum of 3 people, maximum 3 people from the IICIP participants only. So please, hopefully not from outside of this program, inshallah. Okay. So can we collaborate with experts of these sessions for further research work to be presented at IICIP platform? Hopefully, inshallah. I believe that we are open for discussion with our speakers. Yes, hopefully it can also enrich the research that or the paper that you will work on. And can we collaborate with students who are not participants of IICIP? Mr. Zainul Abdin, unfortunately, sir, because this program is strictly for the IICIP participants, and because the program in which you want to complete, it is required for you to extend all the way to the international conference in November. So they truly appreciate if you can collaborate with participants from IICIP only. Thank you. And there's another question. In order to make a group, there should be an introduction session between participants so that we get to know all of us. Okay, inshallah, I hope perhaps we can try to make this this maybe greet and meet upon among the participants. Hopefully, this coming or next Monday, inshallah. If not Monday, maybe after Professor Subandi's session on this upcoming Sunday. Thank you. Can we get an email we want to collaborate? I think we would like to discuss this first with the speakers. We hope that this can be facilitated. And if we do not write a paper but participate in all sessions, will we receive some sort of certificate for participating? Sister Zanab, we do urge you to write the paper so that all of this sessions that you have already participated uh, can be elaborated in ideas. So, inshallah, hopefully, it will be more fruitful for you to write a paper. And yes, thank you. Thank you. Okay. Is there any more questions? Should you have any more questions, you may ask inside the WhatsApp group. Due to today's time in Indonesia, Western Indonesian time, we are preparing for Jummah prayer. So, inshallah, we can extend the discussion within the WhatsApp group. Thank you so much, dear participants. We wish you a very fruitful participation in the upcoming sessions until next Tuesday and the closing ceremony. And hopefully, maybe from now on, you may start to compose your ideas into the paper with the Islamic psychology perspective. And that would be enough for me. Okay, so thank you so much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I will return it to the MC, but Tupina, thank you.
Okay, Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you all participants. Don't forget to make the best essay. Ladies and gentlemen, we have finally arrived at the end of this session. Before we end this session, we would like to remind all participants to fill in the Google form link provided by committee as your feedback for this session. On behalf of the committee, I would like to express my serious gratitude to today's speaker and everyone who has joined us here in the 6th International Intensive Course of Islamic Psychology. Once again, I would like to extend our most profound appreciation to you all for your participation. We wish you all health and happiness so that we can follow the next event mostly. Ladies and gentlemen, we inform you that our next agenda on Sunday, August 18, 2024, with the same Zoom link, we will hold an insight session with Prof. Subandi from Universitas Gadjah Mada. Thank you.